The alien ship hung silently in the darkness beyond Mars, its advanced cloaking systems making it invisible to what they believed were primitive human detection methods. The ship's crew, consisting of the galaxy's finest scientists, had done this thousands of times before, observing developing worlds without being noticed. They had never failed. Until today. In the quiet observation room of NASA's Deep Space Monitoring Station, James Walker stared at his screen with a mixture of confusion and excitement. The coffee cup in his hand had gone cold hours ago, forgotten as he studied the strange readings that shouldn't exist. According to every known law of physics, there was nothing there. But James knew better. "Hey Tom, come look at this," he called to his supervisor. "These radiation patterns don't make sense. They're too perfect." James pointed to the screen where a series of seemingly random energy fluctuations created a pattern too orderly to be natural. Tom leaned over, squinting at the display. "Could be a sensor malfunction. I checked 3 different arrays. They're all picking up the same thing." James typed quickly, bringing up more data. Whatever's out there is trying very hard to look like nothing at all. Aboard the research vessel, First Observer Ken noticed something unusual in the sensor readings. "High Leader, we have a problem." The tall, silvery being turned to face their commander. "The humans are actively scanning the exact region of space we occupy." "Impossible," the High Leader replied. "Our cloaking technology is beyond their current scientific understanding by at least 300 years. Nevertheless, Ken insisted, bringing up a holographic display. "They've detected an anomaly in our shield harmonics. They're focusing 3 separate detection arrays on our position." In the NASA control room, excitement was building. James had called in experts from other departments, and they all agreed. Something artificial was hiding out there. They began broadcasting a simple greeting message toward the anomaly, using basic mathematical sequences that any advanced civilization would recognize. The High Leader felt something they hadn't experienced in over 2 centuries. Fear. How are they doing this? Their technology is primitive. They haven't even colonized their own solar system. "High Leader," another scientist called out, "they're broadcasting to us." The message, it's elegant in its simplicity. "They've not only detected us, they've deduced we're intelligent beings." James watched as new data poured in. The mysterious object was changing, its energy signature shifting. "They're responding to us," he announced, his voice filled with awe. "Whatever's out there, they know we see them." The High Leader made a decision that would change the course of galactic history. Disengage the cloak. If they can detect us anyway, we might as well conserve power. As the massive ship shimmered into visibility, the crew watched human monitoring stations light up across the planet below. "Their mental processing must be unprecedented," Ken observed. "To notice a pattern that's subtle, to interpret its meaning so quickly. High Leader, I don't think we've fully understood what we're dealing with here." On Earth, as telescopes and sensors recorded the first clear images of an alien vessel, James sat back in his chair and smiled. "You know what this means, right?" he asked Tom. "They've probably got all sorts of fancy tech to hide themselves, but they didn't count on human intuition. We saw what we weren't supposed to see." The High Leader sent an urgent message to the Galactic Council. "Exercise extreme caution with Earth. Humans possess observational and analytical capabilities that exceed our models. They detected our presence through sheer pattern recognition and intuition. Previous assessments of their species must be revised immediately." As news of the discovery spread across Earth, bringing excitement and wonder to billions, the aliens watched with growing unease. They had come to study what they thought was a primitive species, only to find themselves outmaneuvered by human perceptiveness. It was the first lesson the galaxy would learn about humanity. Never underestimate their ability to see through deception, no matter how advanced the technology behind it might be. The universe had just discovered that humans were far more than they appeared to be, and this was only the beginning. The grand chamber of the Galactic Council buzzed with nervous energy as representatives from 100 worlds gathered to discuss the Earth problem. Massive screens displayed Earth's history, showing everything from the Ice Age to the modern era. "Look at this data again," the council leader said, pointing to a timeline. "Humans survived an ice age with nothing but crude tools and animal furs. They faced giant predators and won. They survived plagues, wars, and natural disasters that should have wiped them out dozens of times." In a quiet research lab on Earth, Amanda Reed worked through another sleepless night. Scattered around her desk were printouts of the alien signals they'd been receiving since first contact. While other scientists struggled to make sense of the complex transmissions, Amanda saw something different. "It's not just a language," she muttered, typing rapidly on her keyboard. "It's layers of meaning, like poetry mixed with mathematics." Her computer program began decoding the alien messages, doing what the council's experts had claimed would take humans decades to achieve. Back in the council chamber, the debate grew heated. "Their technological progress is impossible," declared one alien representative, bringing up a new chart. "Look at this curve. From their first powered flight to landing on their moon in just 66 years. From discovering atomic theory to mastering nuclear power in less than 50 years. That's not the worst part," another member added. "Show them the adaptation statistics." New data filled the screens, showing how humans had spread across their world. From frozen tundra to burning deserts, from mountain peaks to ocean depths, humans had found ways to not just survive, but thrive. Amanda's breakthrough came at 3:47 a.m. Her computer chimed, and suddenly the alien transmissions made sense. She grabbed her phone, hands shaking with excitement. "Director Wilson, I did it. I cracked their communication protocol. All of it." The news of Amanda's achievement spread quickly through the scientific community and reached the Galactic Council within hours. The council leader called an emergency session. "They've done it again," the leader announced to the stunned assembly. "A single human has decoded our entire communication system, a system that took our combined civilizations 3 centuries to develop." One of the younger council members spoke up. "Perhaps we should be diplomatic about this. Humans clearly have much to offer the galaxy. Or much to threaten it with," an older member countered. "Their ability to understand and adapt to new concepts is unprecedented. They're already asking questions about our faster-than-light travel. At this rate, they'll reverse engineer it within years, not centuries." Meanwhile, Amanda sat in a briefing room, explaining her discovery to top scientists from around the world. "Their language isn't just words," she explained, pointing to her diagrams. "Every transmission contains multiple layers of meaning. Once I realized it was like a combination of music, mathematics, and poetry. The pattern became clear." The council watched this briefing through their monitoring systems, their concern growing. "They don't just copy technology," one member observed. "They understand it, improve it, and then create something entirely new from it." "We have 2 options," the council leader said finally. "Try to contain them, which given their rate of advancement would likely fail, or welcome them into the galactic community and hope we can guide their development." As the council debated, humans around the world were already proving their point. Laboratories everywhere began using Amanda's breakthrough to study alien technologies. Engineers started drafting plans for improvements to alien designs. Artists and musicians experimented with the multilayered communication method, creating entirely new forms of expression. The warning signs were clear to the galaxy. Humanity wasn't just quick to learn, they were quick to innovate. Every piece of knowledge they gained became a stepping stone to something new, something unexpected. The galaxy had never seen anything like it, and some were beginning to wonder if they ever would again. Commander Robert Stone stood on the bridge of the U.S. Defender, Earth's first space warship, watching as 5 alien vessels emerged from hyperspace. Their sleek, dark shapes blocked out the stars, each one larger than anything humans had ever built. They were meant to intimidate. Instead, they'd made him smile. "Battle stations," he ordered calmly. "Let's show them what humans do best." The alien commander, Lord Vex, was confident. His ships carried weapons that had dominated space battles for 1,000 years. "Send the humans our demands," he ordered. "They have 10 minutes to surrender their world, or we'll demonstrate our power." But in those 10 minutes, humans did what humans do best. They improvised. Their shields operate on a rotating frequency, Lieutenant Adams reported, her fingers flying over her console. "It's advanced, but it's still a pattern. And where there's a pattern, there's a way to break it." Stone finished. He had chosen Adams for exactly this kind of thinking. While she worked, Stone directed Earth's other ships to spread out, appearing disorganized to alien eyes. But there was a method to this apparent madness. Lord Vex watched with amusement. "Look how they scatter. Like primitive creatures fleeing a predator." The aliens fired their first warning shot, a beam of energy that could have cut through a mountain. It swept past Earth's fleet, illuminating the darkness of space. They expected fear. Instead, they got data. "Got it!" Adams shouted. "Commander, their weapon signatures match their shield frequencies. They're using the same power source for both, if we time it right." Stone nodded. "Send the firing solution to all ships. Let's show them why you never corner a human." The alien fleet launched their attack, expecting a quick victory. Their weapons could penetrate any known shield. Their armor could withstand any known weapon. But humans had just invented something unknown. Earth's ships fired as one, their hastily modified weapons synchronized perfectly with the gaps in alien shield frequencies. Lord Vex watched in horror as human weapons, weapons that should have been centuries behind his technology, sliced through his supposedly impenetrable defenses. "Impossible," he roared. "How did they adapt so quickly? Those shields have never failed in 1,000 years of combat." Stone's voice crackled across all channels, broadcasting on the frequencies Amanda Reed had decoded. "That's your problem. You rely on what has always worked. We look for what could work better." The battle lasted less than an hour. 2 alien ships retreated with heavy damage. One drifted powerless in space. The other 2 had surrendered, their crews amazed by the speed of human adaptation. In the aftermath, Stone walked through the captured alien vessel with his team. Engineers were already studying the alien technology, not just learning from it, but finding ways to improve it. "Look at this," one engineer called out, pointing to an alien power core. "They're using a stable design that hasn't changed in centuries. But if we modify it like this," he sketched a quick diagram, "we could increase its efficiency by 40%. The news of the battle spread quickly through the galaxy. The Galactic Council convened an emergency session, fear evident in every transmission. "They didn't just defeat the ships," one member reported. "They understood and improved upon technology that took us generations to develop. They did it in minutes during combat." Stone sent his report back to Earth Command, keeping it simple and direct. "Alien threat neutralized. Their technology has been analyzed and improved. Recommend immediate implementation of upgrades across the fleet. Also, someone owes Lieutenant Adams a promotion." As humans began adapting and improving upon the captured alien technology, the galaxy learned its second great lesson about humanity. They didn't just survive challenges, they emerged stronger from them. Each obstacle made them more formidable, each confrontation more dangerous. The breaking point hadn't been the battle itself, but the realization that followed. Humanity would never be content with matching their opponents. They would always push further, reach higher, and find ways to exceed what others thought possible. Ambassador Michael Hayes walked into the Great Hall of the Galactic Council with quiet confidence. The massive chamber, designed to make lesser species feel small, had the opposite effect on him. All he saw was the inefficiency of its layout, the waste of space, the opportunities for improvement. The council leader spoke first. "Earth has requested full membership in the Galactic Alliance. Given recent events, we must discuss terms." Michael smiled. "Actually, we're here to offer terms of our own." He activated a small device on his wrist, and holographic displays appeared around the chamber. These are 47 different improvements we've developed for standard galactic technologies. Consider them a gesture of good faith." The council members murmured as they studied the displays. One of them, a being of pure energy, spoke up. "These modifications to the quantum drive, they're elegant, simple. How did you conceive of them?" "An engineer in Mumbai thought of it while eating dinner," Michael replied. She said the spiral pattern of her noodles reminded her of quantum patterns. Sometimes the best solutions are the simplest ones. In a research facility on Mars, Earth's first extraterrestrial colony was taking shape. Dr. Helen Porter supervised the construction, using a combination of human ingenuity and adapted alien technology. What would have taken other species decades to build was nearly complete after just 8 months. Back in the council chamber, the tension was rising. "You must understand our concern," another council member said. "Your species has advanced more in the past year than most civilizations do in a century." Michael nodded. "We understand your fear. But consider this. Everything we've achieved, we've done because we had to. Earth isn't a gentle world. We evolved facing constant challenges, adapting to survive. It's not just our technology that evolves quickly, it's who we are." The displays change, showing Earth's history. Look at our writing systems, our art, our music. Every human culture developed differently, finding unique solutions to similar problems. We don't just copy ideas, we transform them, combine them, improve them. On Earth, the first human-designed faster-than-light ship prepared for its test flight. Its engines incorporated principles that the galaxy had overlooked, deemed too unstable or risky. But humans had found a way to make it work, just as they always did. "Your species moves too fast," one council member complained. "There are protocols, procedures." "With all respect," Michael interrupted, "the universe doesn't wait for protocols. While we're having this discussion, 1,000 human scientists are solving problems your people thought impossible. 1,000 engineers are finding new ways to improve old technologies. That's not going to stop." He stood straighter, his voice firm but friendly. "We're not here to disrupt your civilization. We're here to help it grow. Every advancement we make, we're willing to share. Every solution we find can benefit everyone." The council leader leaned forward. "And if we refuse your membership, then we'll continue advancing on our own," Michael said simply. "But wouldn't it be better to advance together?" As if to emphasize his point, a message arrived from Earth. The test flight had succeeded. The new human-designed ship had broken all previous speed records while using 30% less energy. The council chambers erupted in shocked discussions. Michael waited patiently, knowing that fear was giving way to curiosity. He had seen it before, the moment when other species realized that human innovation could benefit them all. "Perhaps," the council leader finally said, "we should discuss those terms you mentioned." As the diplomatic talks continued, colonies on Mars, Europa, and even some extrasolar planets reported success after success. Humanity wasn't just reaching for the stars anymore. They were reshaping them, one innovation at a time. The galaxy was learning that humans didn't just want to join their community. They wanted to help it evolve, grow, and become something greater than the sum of its parts. The question was no longer whether to accept humans, but how quickly they could learn from them. Thomas Cooper stood in his laboratory aboard the International Space Station, staring at test results that would change the galaxy's understanding of humanity forever. As Earth's leading xenobiologist, he had spent months comparing human DNA with samples from 50 alien species. What he found was both shocking and beautiful. "Send a message to the council," he said to his assistant. "Tell them I know why we're different, and why they should be glad we are." The Galactic Council gathered quickly this time, their usual formal procedures forgotten in their rush to understand. Thomas's hologram stood before them, his excitement visible even through the projection. "Look at this," he said, displaying a complex genetic map. "Every other spacefaring species evolved on worlds with stable conditions. Their bodies adapted to one set of challenges and stopped. But Earth never let us rest. He showed them Earth's history. Ice ages followed by warm periods, oxygen levels rising and falling, continents shifting, massive extinctions followed by explosions of new life. Our planet forced us to adapt constantly, Thomas explained. While other species were getting comfortable, our ancestors were surviving disasters that should have killed them. And here's the key: we never stopped adapting. In a remote research station on Venus, human scientists worked comfortably in conditions that would kill most alien species instantly. Their enhanced environmental suits, based on human biological principles, made it possible. Your species are specialists, Thomas continued. You each excel at one thing. But humans, we're universal adapters. Our bodies can handle extreme conditions. Our minds can solve problems in ways your species never imagined. He showed them more data. Human bones were denser than any spacefaring race. Human muscles, though not the strongest, could adapt to any gravity. Human digestive systems could process foods that would poison other species. You called Earth a death world, Thomas said. You were right. But that's exactly what made us strong. Every challenge we faced rewrote our genes, improved our abilities, forced us to become more than we were. The council watched as he displayed videos of humans thriving in environments that other species considered impossible. Deep-sea researchers working at crushing depths, mountain climbers surviving in thin air, desert explorers enduring extreme heat. And it's not just our bodies, Thomas added. Our minds evolved to spot patterns, to create new solutions, to imagine possibilities that don't exist yet. We had to, just to survive. A council member interrupted. But surely there must be limits to your adaptation. Thomas smiled. We haven't found them yet. Look at our colonies. Mars, we're already developing natural resistance to lower gravity. Europa, our bodies are adapting to the radiation. Every challenge makes us stronger. In the council chamber, the fear was giving way to understanding. One member spoke softly. No wonder our attempts to contain your species would have failed. You don't just overcome obstacles, you transform because of them. Exactly, Thomas said. But here's what you need to understand. We don't want to dominate. We want to help. Our adaptability means we can go places you can't, solve problems you can't, think in ways you don't. Together, we could explore parts of the galaxy that no one species could reach alone. The evidence was undeniable. Humans weren't just another spacefaring race. They were something new, a species shaped by constant change, ready to face any challenge the universe could offer. We've spent centuries afraid of what humanity might become, the council leader said finally. Perhaps instead, we should be grateful for what you already are. As Thomas's presentation ended, news came from the Venus station. The researchers there had already adapted their suits designed to work on gas giant planets. What other species considered impossible, humans saw as just another challenge to overcome. The hidden truth was out. Humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology or their weapons. It was their endless ability to adapt, to change, to become whatever they needed to be. The galaxy hadn't just found a new species. They had found the universal adapters they never knew they needed. Dr. Lisa Martinez stood before a crowd of alien scientists, her simple whiteboard covered in what looked like child's drawings. The galaxy's brightest minds had spent 1,000 years trying to solve the problem of quantum tunnel collapse during faster-than-light travel. Lisa had found the answer while watching her daughter play with soap bubbles. See, we were all thinking too hard, she explained, drawing another circle. The solution isn't to fight the collapse. It's to work with it, like a bubble absorbing another bubble. In the audience, hundreds of alien scientists watched in stunned silence as she demonstrated her theory. It wasn't just that she had solved the problem. It was how simple her solution was. By copying the surface tension principles of soap bubbles, Lisa continued, we can make ships ride the quantum waves instead of pushing through them. Less energy used, faster travel, and no more tunnel collapse. Across the galaxy, similar scenes were playing out. Humans weren't just joining alien society. They were transforming it with what the aliens called primitive thinking. In a mining colony on an asteroid belt, human engineers had replaced complex molecular extractors with a simple gravity-based sorting system inspired by old Earth gold panning. Production doubled while energy use dropped by 80%. Sometimes the old ways are the best ways, the human foreman explained to his alien crew. Just because we can make something complicated doesn't mean we should. The council watched these developments with growing amazement. Humans were solving problems that had stumped the galaxy's finest minds for generations, often using principles so basic that other species had overlooked them completely. On a distant medical station, human doctors introduced the concept of preventive medicine, a practice that other species had never considered. Why wait for something to break before fixing it? Became their motto, revolutionizing galactic healthcare. But the biggest breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Dr. Martinez's 10-year-old daughter, playing with her mother's work materials, accidentally discovered a way to stabilize wormholes using principles she learned in her physics homework about pendulums. "It's like pushing a swing," she explained to the astonished scientists. "If you push too hard, it gets wild. But if you push with the right timing, it goes higher and stays controlled." The revolution wasn't just technological. Human art began appearing in alien galleries, their music played in alien concerts, the human concept of fiction, telling stories that weren't true but carried deep meanings, fascinated species that had never conceived of such an idea. They imagine things that don't exist, one alien scholar reported, and in doing so, they create new ways to think about things that do exist. Even human games spread across the galaxy. Chess became a sensation, with alien strategists amazed by its simple rules but infinite possibilities. Children's games like tag and hide and seek taught alien young ones about strategy and spatial awareness in ways their traditional education never had. Dr. Martinez's faster-than-light breakthrough led to a new age of exploration. Ships using her bubble drive could travel further and faster than ever before, using less energy than anyone thought possible. The galaxy kept trying to force the universe to follow their rules, she explained at the official unveiling. "We humans learned long ago that it's better to understand the universe's rules and work with them." The Council's archives recorded this period as the Human Revolution, not because humans took over, but because they showed everyone a new way to think, to solve problems, to see the universe. Perhaps, the council leader noted in a historic speech, we needed their so-called primitive perspective. We had advanced so far that we forgot the simple solutions. Humans reminded us that progress isn't always about making things more complex. Sometimes it's about finding the elegant simplicity hidden within the complexity. The revolution wasn't fought with weapons or won with force. It was achieved through humanity's greatest gifts, their creativity, their ability to see old problems in new ways, and their willingness to share their insights with everyone who wanted to learn. 5 years after first contact, Earth had become the busiest hub in the galaxy. The once feared Death World now hosted the greatest gathering of species the universe had ever seen. In the sprawling Global Exchange Center in Geneva, Ambassador Michael Hayes watched alien children playing baseball with human kids, while their parents discussed art, science, and everything in between. "Remember when they wanted to quarantine us?" he asked Amanda Reed, who had become Earth's chief of interstellar communications. "Now they send their children here to learn." Amanda smiled, watching an alien youth hit their first home run, their tentacles wiggling with joy. They feared what they didn't understand. Now they understand that fear itself was the barrier. Across the solar system, joint human-alien projects flourished. On Mars, terraforming efforts progressed at unprecedented speeds, combining alien technology with human agricultural techniques. The red planet was starting to show its first patches of green. In deep space, the first joint exploration fleet, led by Commander Stone, had pushed beyond known space. His crew, A mix of 6 different species worked together with the efficiency that only diversity could bring. Each species sees things differently, Stone explained in his latest report. When we hit a problem, we don't just get one solution, we get 6 different approaches. And humans, we're the ones who figure out how to make all those approaches work together. The Galactic Council had changed too. The circular chamber now included comfortable seats for all species, inspired by human living room designs. The formal protocols had given way to open discussions where all ideas were welcome, no matter how simple or strange they seemed. Humans taught us that wisdom doesn't always wear formal robes, the council leader said during the anniversary celebration. Sometimes it comes in work boots and carries a wrench. On Jupiter's moons, human ingenuity had turned harsh environments into thriving outposts. They didn't just survive there, they made it feel like home. Other species learned that comfort didn't require perfect conditions, just creative adaptations. Back on Earth, in a small classroom in Kenya, a human teacher explained Earth's history to a mixed group of alien and human students. Our planet taught us that change is normal, she said. That challenges make us stronger. That diversity is an advantage, not a weakness. The galaxy had learned that lesson well. Species that had never worked together now collaborated regularly, using human diplomatic techniques to bridge their differences. The old fears had transformed into curiosity, then into friendship. Dr. Thomas Cooper's research continued, revealing new insights about human adaptability. We're not just changing the galaxy, he reported to the council. It's changing us too. Each new challenge, each new environment, each new friendship makes us better than we were. In orbit above Earth, the massive Unity station hosted the galaxy's most advanced research facilities. But its most popular section was the recreation deck, where humans had introduced the concept of play as a way to solve problems. When we stopped taking ourselves so seriously, Ambassador Hayes often said, we start seeing solutions we missed before. The change that had begun with fear, the discovery of humans and their potential, had evolved into something beautiful. The galaxy hadn't just accepted human power, they had embraced human wisdom. The strength that once trembled before now protected and united them. We never wanted to rule the galaxy, Amanda told a group of alien reporters. We wanted to explore it, to understand it, to make it better for everyone. That's the real human power, not our ability to fight or build, but our desire to improve things for all. The universe had indeed trembled before humans, but not in the way anyone expected. Instead of conquest, humans had brought connection. Instead of dominance, they had brought innovation. Instead of fear, they had brought hope. The new order wasn't based on power or technology or fear. It was based on the very things that made humans unique. Their adaptability, their creativity, their ability to bring out the best in others. The galaxy had finally understood that humanity's greatest strength wasn't in making others tremble, but in helping them stand tall together.